The Bhagavad Gita is not just a book, it's a mirror with answers. Welcome to our very first Q&A video on the Bhagavad Gita, where you ask me questions about life, spirituality, God and other deep topics, and I try my best to answer them using the timeless wisdom of the Gita. So let's begin with our first question. The first question is from Sneha. She asks, I'm going through the lowest phase of my life. I have done my duties, but nothing seems to be going right. I have read in the Gita that we should do our duties, but in some shloka, it also says we should surrender to God. What should I do? I'm afraid of surrendering completely and I don't know how to do it. First of all, thank you for asking the question. I'm really sorry to hear that you are in a difficult phase. May Krishna gives you the strength to rise again. Now let's explore your question. It sounds like you are confused between doing your duty and surrendering. This is actually a common misunderstanding. Many people think surrendering means giving up or running away from life. But real surrender does not mean you stop trying. It means you do your work sincerely, perform your duties, and then offer both the work and the results to the higher power that is guiding everything. In the chapter 2, verse 47, Krishna says, you have a right to perform your prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your activities, nor be attached to inaction. Krishna is saying, do your duties according to your nature and your role in life, but don't be attached to the results. And also, don't use detachment as an excuse to avoid action. You say that you have done your duties, but still nothing feels right. This happens when the mind secretly keeps expecting certain outcomes. When those outcomes don't happen, frustration and sadness follow. So Krishna says, act sincerely, but let go of control. Surrender the results. So how do you begin to surrender? Start with simple observation. Realize that your physical existence is part of nature. Nature is running everything, from the trees to your heartbeat. And as you reflect on this more deeply, you will begin to sense that there is a higher power behind it all, something greater, that is guiding not just nature, but your life too. This is what we call God. And when you truly feel this, you will realize that you do not have to carry the burden of controlling everything. You are a part of a larger flow, and that is when surrender will grow on its own, gently and naturally. There is no need to force it. So to answer your question, do your duties with sincerity because everyone has their duties to perform, and let go of attachment to results because you are not in control of everything. I have spoken about surrender more deeply in my other videos, so you can explore those too. I hope this helped in some way. Let's move to the next question. The next question is from Divyavala. Her question is quite long and thoughtful, but to put it simply, the essence of her question is this. What should we hold on to in life if everything is temporary and uncertain? Is there anything truly worth holding on to? Beyond loved ones, beyond success? Something deeper? This is such a powerful question and I'm truly glad that you are asking it. What should we hold on to in a world where everything keeps changing? The honest answer is nothing. Because the more tightly you hold on, the more you suffer. Instead, try to see everything, your relationships, your body, your health, your possessions as a gift. Gift from life, from a higher intelligence, or from God. They are precious, but not permanent. But among all these gifts, there is one thing that is eternal, which is your true self, the soul. You are not this body or this mind. You are the soul. And the soul is a part of God. This simple shift in mindset from clinging to what is temporary to recognizing and resting in what is eternal reduces attachment, brings peace and helps you stay grounded. And if your question is also about finding purpose in life, then I would say live according to your swadharma, the work that flows naturally from your inner nature. I have made a separate video on this, but in short, once you find your swadharma, dedicate yourself fully, without clinging to the results. And that gives your life direction. I hope this brings you a little clarity and a little peace. Thank you for such a meaningful question. Let's move on to the next question. The person did not mention their name, but here's the question they asked. After passing class 10, I chose medicine to become a doctor instead of going into software engineering, which seemed like a higher paying job with better work-life balance. But now I have doubts. Did I make the right decision? And is this choice really mine? Or was it already destined? Since the Bhagavad Gita says we are not the real doers. This is a very thoughtful question, and thank you for asking it. You mentioned you chose medicine to become a doctor, but now you are wondering if that decision was right. Before we go deeper, I want you to reflect. Are these doubts coming from within, or are they coming mainly because software engineering seems to offer more money? Sometimes doubts arise not because we are on the wrong path, but because we start comparing our path with others. So pause and ask yourself honestly, do I truly want to become a doctor? Do I feel called to help people? If the answer is yes, then trust your choice. Walk this path with dedication and surrender the outcome to God. Now about what the Gita says, you are right. Krishna says we are not the real doers. That means our soul, our true self, is just a witness. It does not take action. The body and the mind do. Your career choice, your actions are actually influenced by your nature and your past karmas. These shape your preferences and the choices you feel drawn toward. So yes, there is a part of it that's already unfolding based on your inner nature. Still, you have free will, which allows you to act wisely and choose your path with awareness. So don't stress too much of whether your decision was fully yours or fully destined. That can become an endless loop of overthinking. Instead, focus on what you feel drawn to from within, not out of fear or comparison. If you feel a genuine calling, just pursue it as your swadharma, your personal duty, and surrender the results to the divine. Because ultimately, the God is the controller of everything. That attitude brings both peace and strength. I hope this helped you gain some clarity. Let's move to the last question for this video. It is from Aditi Sharma. Her question is more like a personal sharing. To put it simply, she says, why does life feel so unfair even after all my efforts? I have come a long way, but my mind keeps pulling me back with negative thoughts. I have goals, but they feel out of reach, and I'm stuck in a cycle of frustration and self-doubt. After reading your question, it seems like your mind is getting clouded by fear, self-doubt, and overthinking. That fear of going back to where you started. But here's the thing, that is not your true self speaking. It is your mind, and it is lying to you. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains how the mind becomes the source of suffering. He says that when we dwell too much on thoughts, they become attachments. Those attachments turn into desires, and unfulfilled desires lead to frustration, and eventually, we lose peace. So the first step is to understand that you are not your mind. The mind may keep throwing negative thoughts, but you can learn to observe them without getting caught up in them. The second step is to stop trying to control everything. Life is not completely in your hands. It is guided by a higher intelligence. And that is why Krishna teaches us to surrender, not in weakness but with trust and realization. Let go of the need to hold everything together, because the more you hold on, the more you suffer. Surrender does not mean you give up. It means you stop fighting life. So I hope you got the answer you were looking for. We will end this video here. I'll be answering more questions in upcoming videos. If you have any questions about life, spirituality or the Gita, feel free to send them. The link is in the description.